specifically my gi. All right, the clothes that I wear. All right, so we're getting into fashion, getting into style in the martial arts realm. Okay, talking about the martial arts gi. Um, for the most part, you can think of the gi as being martial art pajamas, right? The gi pants universally are pocketless, they're baggy, they're like have a whole lot of room to breathe and stuff like that. So they're literally just like pajamas. They're very comfortable. I've got I don't know how many pairs. I wear them all the time, and it's good. You know, gi pants. The uniform at tactical kung fu is traditionally the gi pants, right, the pocket stuff, and then a t-shirt. This guy. For most people, it's red. For me, I like the light blue, right? And really, in the Durham Chapel Hill area, to find the color red is extremely hard anyway. So it's like you gotta know your audience, man. You gotta play to what they like, and so red is not really color. But in Chinese people in China, they love the color red. Color red is a very positive thing. So that's why we have it, because we're kung fu based, right? Anyway, so going back to the gi, right? Again, martial arts fashion. The you can think if the gi pants are your pajamas, then the gi top would be like your blanket. And the gi tops range from different like thread counts. They count it as in ounces. Like so, they can be as thin as 5 or as large as 14 or even more. I typically will sell gis through Century Martial Arts because they have such a wide variety of gis, and a lot of times the gi is associated with the martial art in that there are certain things you can do with a gi that you can't do without a gi. Now, martial arts that don't really require the gi as part of their techniques, then they will typically use the kind of the lightweight gis because nobody really is pulling on them or anything like that. They won't tear as much, and so those you can see lightweight gis are pretty much for like certain types of karate and taekwondo, tang soo do, and a lot of the martial arts that don't use grappling for the most part. Um, that also being said, some gis have different lengths as far as their sleeves are concerned. Some are short sleeve, some are no sleeve, right? Some are all the way down to your knuckles, and that also depends on the martial art and what it's being used for. In fact, there are some jiu-jitsu tournaments that don't allow gis of a certain length of their sleeves, right? If they don't come up to the hand or the knuckles, they're not going to let you use that gi. You're going to have to use something else because the less sleeve you have, the less control over a person's arm you can have. And so it can be a big factor. You can kind of think that if you have, say I have 60 techniques, right? Just throwing that number out there, 60 techniques, and I got 2 ways of doing them, right? Left and right. So 60 techniques, 2 ways, I got 120 really. So with the gi though, the gi you can think of that as like a technique multiplier, right? There's a whole lot more things I can do if I have a gi. I can do those same things, but more ways. And so a gi can kind of like be like, okay, I've got 10 different ways of doing those 60 things. So now if I got 600 techniques, it's really all the same stuff. You just multiple ways of doing the same thing, and the gi allows you to do more. And so I think a lot of places they say having a gi makes things more technical, and that is very true. There's a whole lot more you can do if you're using the fabric and stuff like that. That being said, the grappling gis, stuff you would see in jiu-jitsu and Brazilian jiu-jitsu and judo, they're typically a whole lot more heavier, right? And they have a much wider collar because people are grabbing the collar and are choking with the collar, and it's a whole lot of different stuff. So, gi is pretty sure it comes from Japanese, from their kimonos that kind of passed down. It comes from the word kenko gi, I think. I might totally be mispronouncing that. It's Japanese. It's Keiko E, right? Kenko. Kenko means practice. whereas gi means clothes, right? So literally it's practice clothes, and so that's kind of where it comes from. You will see gi as a traditional martial arts uniform in almost every single martial art. Even Cobra Kai has one, right? They have the sleeveless gi. I think that's where, honestly, I think that's where the sleeveless gis came from, is from the first Karate Kid movie. So, talking about gis, I want to talk specifically about my gi. All right, I've actually got two of them. I've got a couple of mixed martial art, do martial arts all the time. I got several of everything, man. I've got like 15 of these t-shirts. I don't know how many rash guards. I don't know how many gi pants, but I got 2 gi tops. All right. You can get a lot of use out of those things. They're pretty sturdy. If you get the thick ones, I have the thick ones. I have the 14-ounce gi tops. Like I said, fighting in a blanket. All right, they can get pretty warm after a while. And so